break this down further with The Hill's Julia Manchester. Julia, if Hunter Biden is indicted this month, that would probably put his trial right back smack dab in the middle of the 2024 campaign season. Put this into political perspective for us. How significant was this update, and what kind of blow did it deliver to the White House?
Yeah, hey, Marky, it absolutely is a blow to the White House. Remember, right now, the Biden White House wants to be talking about issues that are impacting voters every day, like the economy. We've heard President Biden talk a lot about lowering unemployment under his administration, talking about other issues like infrastructure, for example. They want to be talking about those kitchen table issues. However, instead, you and I and Tom and other political reporters, political commentators, and the president's critics are talking about this upcoming indictment or potential upcoming indictment against Hunter Biden. It's something that the Biden administration will continue to be asked about when they want to be talking about these other issues. Now, in terms of how it impacts the campaign, it really has yet to be seen. However, Biden during that campaign, like I said, wants to be talking about issues that are impacting Americans day to day. The fact of the matter is, this isn't the most flattering issue for the president. It's involving his son. He doesn't want to be talking about it, but he's going to be asked about.
Yeah, and how it affects his campaign is yet to be seen. But how does it impact the voters? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anybody is making a direct connection between President Biden and these gun charges specifically. So what does this do to moderate voters, those who are undecided? I mean, does this specific potential indictment really impact voters and the way they think and choose?
Yeah, we haven't seen a connection between these charges and the president himself, but I think what you're going to see is Republicans trying to, elevate this issue of a double standard, and you've already seen them doing it. So saying former President Trump has been treated this way by the Justice Department, but President Biden's son is being treated a different way. I think you're going to see Republicans continue to try to make that case. In terms of how it impacts voters and how that plays with voters, I think you're right. This is very much an inside Washington baseball, kind of issue. I think obviously the Republican base and conservatives in this country are concerned about this, and they're raising this issue. But in terms of your moderate, undecided voters, doesn't make Biden, it doesn't do anything to, improve Biden's image. No, but I don't think this is an issue that they're going to be deciding on at the ballot box.
Yes. And moving forward, as we inch closer and closer to November of 2024, I mean, President Biden has pretty much dodged the conversation as a whole. The tax charges, the plea deal, the indictments, the gun charge. Can he keep on doing that? And do you expect him to keep on dodging this, especially as Republicans, to your point, are sure to continue using it as a major talking point during primary season?
Yeah, look, I expect him to keep dodging it. But one thing President Biden will likely have to do is try to distance himself as possible from his son. What you've seen the White House do is essentially say, look, the president and the first lady love their son, and that's all we're going to say about that. But, when you hear reports of Hunter Biden living with the president, when you see Hunter Biden going on major trips with the president, like to Ireland earlier this year, I don't think he can really continue to do that at this point. And in terms of Republicans, look, they have their own risk in all of this as well. They can't be seen as making this an extremely partisan issue, because that's what it's going to look like to the public.
Yeah, I know Chris Stirewalt on our The Hill last night, as one of our panelists, said that the Biden administration is seeing this as a boil that they hope to lance extremely soon. We'll see how this plays out sometime this month. Julia Manchester, thanks so much as always.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.